Pastor Mike has spoiled us because when he preaches from the center without notes. So this morning when he said, will you go and deliver the message? I said, okay. And he gave me his outline. So I will stay here. So my apologies up front. And I am following his outline, which the slides will do as well. And we'll work our way through that together. If you will now, please go with me to the Lord in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of this beautiful day. We thank you for this congregation of doers, hearers, believers. We all answer, Lord, here we are, send me. Let us do the work. Let us be your hands and feet. Lord, at this time, help me to say the words you would have me to say and to lay it upon the hearts of those who will hear. It is in thy precious name that we pray. And all of God's children said, amen. Our lesson for today's message comes from James, and it will appear on the screen. It comes from the first chapter, beginning with verse 22. I think these words will be familiar to most of you. But be doers of the word, and not merely hearers, who deceive themselves. For any are hearers of the word, and not doers. They are like those who look at themselves in a mirror. For they look at themselves, and on going away, immediately forget what they were like. But those who look into the perfect law, the law of liberty, and persevere, being not hearers who forget, but doers who act, they will be blessed in their doing. If any think that they are religious, and do not bridle their tongues, but deceive their hearts, their religion is worthless. Religion that is pure and undefiled before God the Father is this: to care for orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself unstained by the world. And then also from the book of James, I'll be reading verse 224 in just a few moments. Now there was a great theologian named Martin Luther, and he lived during the time of the Reformation. And he was a powerful influence on theological thinking and believing and doing. And he thought the passage I just read in James should be completely eliminated from the Bible. He said it was strong, that it would cause people to stumble, that if you were just, the Bible's message was about faith, not about just doing good works. So if you know anything about what Paul says and what Martin Luther had said from this passage in James, it seemed to be a bit of a contradiction. That the difference was that one said that no, it wasn't about works that we do, but about our faith that we have. But really and truly, the two are not as much contradictory as one might first think. Let's look at James chapter 2, verse 24. You see that a person is justified by works and not by faith alone. This really rustled the feathers of Martin Luther. He believed that the Bible clearly expressed in the words of Jesus that it is by faith that we are saved, not by works. But often in education circles, I hear stories about, well, reading is phonics, or reading is whole language. And the truth is, as most things in our life, it's not one or the other, but it's both and. So when it comes to being hearers of the word and living by faith and by being doers, it takes both of those things. It's not just one or the other. And that is true for many, many things in our life, where it's about a balance, not just one or the other. One will immediately look in a mirror to see if you look well, and if you walk away, you will often forget what you even look like or about your image. So what James is trying to tell us, that we should look in that mirror and examine not just our outward appearance, but our hearts, and how that's going to affect what we do when we walk away. Not just what we hear, what we speak with our lips, but what we're going to do, our behavior, and that will be what changes the world and will help us to bring together both word and deed. So these two paragons of our faith really are not contradictory of each other. They both see faith primarily as trusting in God. Both agree that faith should produce a response to how we live and how we carry out that life. So yes, we must have faith, but we also must have good works. If the way we carry out our life and our living is to steal and cheat and to make a lot of money and then not use it for the good of the kingdom, then we have been hearers of the word, we've not been doers of the word. We have members in our family that we won't name that were good people, not evil in any way, lived a good life, made some money, and spent all of their life and money in retirement, playing as many golf courses in the nation and the world as they could. Nothing wrong with golf, nothing wrong with what they did, but in retirement lived a pretty selfish existence. And that is an example of what we should not do with our faith. Even in our years of active work and beyond, we should be seeking to be doers of the word. It's not just enough to hear the gospel. It's not just enough to believe in the gospel. It's not just enough to refrain from doing wrong things. We must reach out and be that Matthew 25 church that we keep striving to be. God calls us to feed the hungry, to take care of the sick, to visit those in prison, to welcome the stranger, to provide water for the thirsty. So as we go from this place, both today and every day of the week, we are those Christians, not just on Sunday, and not just the one who reads the word and hears the word, but we become doers of the word. Today, religion has gotten a very bad reputation. Churches have, and our faith, and some of it's well deserved, because sometimes we talk a lot of talk, but we don't walk the talk. Well, sometimes it seems that we're always just raising money for what we can do to our facility, or we're raising money to be self-serving and looking inward instead of reaching outward. And this church is always seeking, and I hope it will continue to be doing that, as we seek to be hearers and doers of the word through the welcome table, through our ministries and many programs and missions in the church. So let us help religion regain that positive image to help it be the faith that we want it to be. We must feed the hungry, clothe the naked, show hospitality to the stranger, give the thirsty water to drink, care for the sick, minister to the prisoner. These are the things that make our religion alive and make it authentic. So as we leave here today, may God bless you as you say, "Here I am, Lord. Use me." Don't wait for someone else to be the doer. You be the doer. May God bless you. May God bless the hearing and the doing of his word. Amen.